How are you? How's your day today? How's Paris, by the way?
It's so hot today, or maybe this room is hot, but yeah, right now I'm dying, but it's okay.
Yeah,
It's just the
you
beginning
can't.
of the podcast. I think I will, I will hope to survive until the end.
I'm so jealous. You can't imagine because in Estonia it's so cold.
Okay.
Like it's windy and sometimes it's raining and sometimes it's this and sometimes it's that. I'm like it's August. Just let us, you know.
Cool, cool.
But anyways, I'm very happy to have you on the show. From the first time that we spoke, before you started all of those big activities. I was very eager to have you back then too, I told you. But since then, as we spoke, like a lot of developments have happened, and now I'm even more interested to hear all about it. So, but yeah, let's get started. Tell us about. Actually, let's dive right in. Right? Yeah.
Works for
So,
me.
your LinkedIn profile says that you're making dreaming in EU cool again. So tell us about that mission and why and how did it come to your mind?
That's a good question. How can I say it? Like, if if we go back to history, or maybe just if we look outside in big cities in Europe, there is always like those big buildings, like, and not only like big buildings, like those well crafted buildings, like churches at time and all of that. And there is like this amount of details and of craftsmanship that once was something so valuable. And I feel like we lost that today. Even like when you see like the new big buildings like in cities, you're like, it's the same thing, like repeating itself, like like all the buildings looks the same in a way. And I feel like at the moment this wasn't the case. And this, for me, like Europe lost that, and it should come back to this because this matters. And um, and uh, in a way, yes. And also, how can I say it, like, we may also like lost the race, and go into something more around just chasing money and the VC cycles and all of that. And I feel like there is something more important than of that. Like, if we think of the problem of those cycles, is that they are 10 years cycles, that's all. And but if you want to think in decades, it doesn't matter. Like, if Figma is making money or whatever. Like, what matters is, if are they making a big change or not? Is Will this be something that people in maybe 2100 will still remember us for or not? And again, like, Europe took a big part of history, and I feel like it can be the case in the future too. And I hope in a positive way, not like Egyptians, but back a day, or like Mayas, or all those civilizations that we lost at the moment. And I think that Europe can still have the potential, like, to write the next history. If we think of history, like, if we think like in this way, or in, again, in decades, not in like in each in weeks or days or years. And again, I feel like we lost that, and we should go back to this as soon as possible.
I love that actually because if we look at the bigger picture, you're absolutely right. Like who cares what the company profits this quarter?
Exactly.
I,
That's like I understand from a
yeah,
financial perspective, but
exactly.
there is something more big than all of this. And I feel like religions, they have this. They stayed alive for a long time, and for me, this is all what matters. Like, yeah, I know some people like love, some people hate Elon Musk for who he is, but he thinks in decades. Like, when you think about Starlink, when you think about like SpaceX and all what they are doing, maybe one day we'll go back to this year and be like, or maybe like OpenAI. And I'm not talking about the OpenAI VC style. I'm talking about the real OpenAI that was in a lab back at time, or like Google DeepMind, which is one of the
Yeah,
best companies in the world. And those companies, they are changing the history of of human nature, and this is what we need more of that. And yeah, like, I'm happy for what's everything that's happening right now with AI. And yeah, the hype and what it's bringing, the bubble that it's created in a way. But at the same time, I feel like, yeah, would we still remember this like in 10 years? Like I was so sad of what's happened to crypto in a way. Like the original idea of
Yeah.
Satoshi was completely different than what's happened after. And yeah, for me, like the fact that, okay, we need a decentralized finance matters and we need something like this. But again, the thing is that when you push something like this in the market with people that are only thinking in short term cycles, you will only have like people selling books and marketing tricks and all of that. People building companies on top of that, and people are building other companies on top of that. And you have like only this kind of things, and you lose again this mindset of thinking in decades. And for me, this is what matters. Like today, we are grateful to Nikola Tesla, to Jules Verne, to all those people who created something at time, to Steve Jobs and all of that. Like maybe is the last one of them. Until now, maybe people will remember Musk or Altman in the future. But yeah, for me, we need more people like that. Like we need more people that will unlock this new way of living and life in a way and make progress. And I'm sorry, but it's not VCs. Like that's the problem. Like they don't understand how it works. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's sort of like quick cash grabbers versus the impact makers, right? So
Yeah, and again, like I understand them. Like I have nothing against
yeah,
them. Just to precise, it's just that the system is designed to work
yeah.
that way to make cash and money and profits, and with some risk. But for me, again, like if you think in decades, they don't matter at all, and that's the thing. Like yeah, they help, but even I don't know. Like again, I my question is, and maybe this is something that people should someone should look into it. Did OpenAI make more progress after GPT 3.5 or before?
Mm.
Because maybe the old model was better. Like the fact that they were a lab, only like, how can I say it? Stealth in a way. Nobody knows what they're doing, but they're making real progress. And right
Yeah.
now, yes, you have more infrastructure, you have more things, you have more money, you have billions, companies, Microsoft, everyone is on the race. You have Apple Intelligence and all of that. But the thing is, like did we really make some big progress? Maybe everything is still related to what happened like years before, and it's we are still working on the same thing, and that's all. But yeah, even though like I've seen some crazy things, and especially in video and pictures, like yeah, on those formats, like we've made some crazy progress. But again, like for me, it's still related to everything that's happened before. Like without those guys in the lab, there would be nothing like OpenAI today, or all those companies that are making profits and money in a system that rewards that. So for me, the problem is not the people, it's the system, which is bad.
Which definitely causes a pressure as well, right? Like what you said about like if we think about like GPT 3.5, before and after. Before there was not that much pressure because there was no buzz basically. I mean, people didn't know about them, but it was not that flashy. It was not like, oh, I can write social media posts now. It was just a little bit more quiet. And there was no buzz, which meant that they had a little bit more time and less pressure to build things. But since that thing came out, it brought like so much wave that then there was like a super big pressure that, oh, we gotta put out and ship and build this new thing.
Exactly, and also think short term. And we
Yeah.
come back to the same thing. Like right now, what matters is did you have this deal with this country, or are you making this like? And again, it's not what matters. Like when you think in like how can I say it? If we come back to the original computer, to the original like um, how can I, like iPhone or whatever, like those kind of tools, they took so much time to exist. Like it's not something you make in 2 years or 3 years or 5 or 10 or 15. Like you need so many things, and you need sometimes even this kind of luck, and to have the same like the alignments of planets and stars, because somebody has done something somewhere in the world. You take that innovation, you add something on it, and then you connect everything, and then you may have something in the output. So that's the thing. And yeah, for me, one friend is always telling me, like, if you think back in the last years, w- like the old generations, each one had a big revolution at the moment. Like we went agriculture, then we've had like industrial revolution, then we started creating like phones and all of that. And but and even before like fire, ADN, and right now robots in a way. But the question is, what is the biggest revolution we've had in our generation? And for me, like, it's connecting with other people, like social media, iPhones, and all of that. We went in a new world where we are all connected, and it wasn't the case before. Like each one has boundaries and specific countries, and you cannot meet people. Like, look, right now we are talking because there is tools and all of it just to connect people. And for what's next, yeah, yes, in a way, but I don't know. Maybe robots, maybe like humanoid robots who are more like maybe that will be the next big thing, and we will go back in life, like in time, and be like, oh, this was the big thing, and they've missed it completely or not. I hope that it won't be. Yeah, for me, they can be so helpful. So maybe that's the next thing. I don't know. So it's hard to make bets.
Yeah, and that's why it's all so interesting, right? It's all mysterious and
Yeah.
stuff. But I think, yeah, now it's a perfect sort of like a segue to, yeah, start talking about yourself. So the last time when we spoke, you told me that the best way to describe you is a builder, and you have always been passionate about building. So how did you, how did you find this passion, and how did it start? And if you could introduce yourself that way.
Good question. uh, I think like, yeah, for me, maybe everything started, if I connected the dots backwards, I think everything started when I had my first computer, maybe like in 2003, 4, something like this. And I was still in primary school, and I had this tool where I can do whatever I want. And when you are that young and you have such tools, you start playing with it, and then playing again and again, and then you understand that you can unlock this kind of not creativity, like you just have this open playground. And internet at time was different than today. Like today, every time you want to do something, there is like a Stripe link, and you should pay for something. And even AI, like people are like, you can do whatever you want with AI, but there is prompts and they cost money, and even Lovable, it's not free. So I understand, like, yeah, they have some good deals and everything, but again, it's not free. Where at my time, internet was free. Like, you can go and you can download the torrents and whatever, and it worked. And that's the thing. And yeah, for me, like, internet was this open space where you can do whatever you want, and it was cool at time. And I was just playing, like, searching around, building stuff. I made some crazy stuff at time, and the only thing that I was missing is like the business part. And I think
Yeah.
I'm still not good at that. Maybe one day. And so that's the thing. And again, like, I was just exploring. I made some video games. I made some because every time, like, the what I loved with my computer is that um, every time I've had the frustration of why this thing doesn't exist, I had the tools to create a solution. And I think I learned that way, like the hard way of shit, nobody want to make this for me. And also because I don't have money, so I was like you don't have any other option of either you make it yourself, either you can't ask people like to make it for you. So that's the thing. Like for example, if I go back in time, like in when I was in middle school, I was playing at time Pro Evolution Soccer 6, which was one
Mhm.
of the best games ever, like
I
ever.
agree 100%.
And the thing is, when you play it, you understand like that they have this kind of licenses, and so you don't have all the countries and all the clubs. And I was like, because I grew up in Morocco, I was like, why I don't have like the Moroccan league in the game. And then I started searching, and I ended up creating my own mode. So I learned how to make kits and add sponsors, like, and it was something like it was playing like with the game itself. Like for example, I remember also a time I was playing with the a video game of Yu-Gi-Oh at time, and it was so good. And I was like, what if I can have some new cards? And again, you cannot just like ask on internet and somebody will do it for you. Or again, I no money, so I was like, okay, let's try and play with the files of the game, and I ended up doing it. And I've done the same also for Grand Theft Auto at times, San Andreas, and I create like this Grand Theft Auto Morocco. In a way, I spent like so much time on Blender doing 3D stuff and creating my own city in a way. And it was so crazy. It wasn't working. So every time like you walk, there is a bug and then the whole game stops. And I was like, no, it's so boring. But at the same time, like it was an experience, and I've even done something completely stupid. And I still have the mail, by the way. I sent to Rockstar Games something like, "Hey, I made a mod for the game. Do you want to publish it on your store?" And they were like, "No,
Wow.
thanks."
They answered you.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I think I still have the email. Like it was crazy at time. But again, like this is the thing when you are like 12, 13 years old, you are still naive. You don't know how the business world works. You don't understand licenses and everything. And yeah, I was always like obsessed with the fact that there is no limit. And I think maybe this is what I learned when I was little, and I still have this kind of mindset, is that every time there is a problem, you can fix it yourself. And that's the thing.
It's a crazy good story actually, because like I believe there is something very empowering about like wanting something and then working on it, spending a couple of hours, then getting it. I think this example that you mentioned about Pro Evolution Soccer, because I had exactly the same. Like I'm from Georgia, and like I was always so mad that and also like there were no big teams. I like some like there was no
Yeah.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
right? Like all of those. So I was always like, we need to create something. So then you would create something that is like as close as possible. So
Exactly. And you, for
it
me, you
shows
you
yeah,
can edit the game files in a
yeah,
way, and you had tools. And there was tools available, and and it's funny because that was how I learned design at the moment. And I was like, okay, how we make kits and how we use Photoshop in a way. And it starts by because you have a goal, and
yeah,
then even right now, I'm still doing design. I'm still doing Photoshop, and I'm still doing like a
yeah,
Figma right now because it's better. But it started by that to arrive to this thing.
yeah,
So yeah, for me, like just the mindset of okay, there is a problem. Like someone told you no, you're like no, I will stay in the game because I want it until you have a big problem. Like I've had some big problems, not that much, but no, nothing scary, no worries, no cops or whatever. But yeah, it was again for me, it was like challenging, and I still have this mindset right now.
yeah.
That's
And
the cool
that's
thing.
exactly my point, right? Like that's how you get to sort of find skills. It's not like you're let's say design, right? You don't learn a design just because the perspective is great and there are great jobs, but you genuinely want to solve a problem that you have. So for that, you need the design. And by the way, you're getting like a very good designer and making
Yeah.
progress in this field. So fabulous. I also watched one of your videos, your introductory video. That is, I think it's very well directed, so good job on that.
Thanks.
But it says this quote that really stuck in my mind. So it says you have so about you that you have 1,000 ideas, but only 24 hours to build them all. So I want to ask, tell us some about some of the coolest ideas that you'd like to execute.
um, so I think the question is more how, yeah, how you end up having like that much ideas. And for me, it's a question of reflection, like how much you reflect. with yourself, and you spend time alone thinking. And I try to optimize that as much as possible. And also, when I don't do that, I'm sad. This is what I noticed. Like when I'm so surrounded by people, I don't have that much time for me. So I'm like no much reflecting time, solo reflecting time. So it's kind of hard to have those ideas. And at the same time, you need people also to have ideas, because sometimes when you discuss with people, you have a conversation and then some ideas emerge. So what ideas I would love them to exist for me? Like it's not a question of ideas; it's more like problems, and I see problems everywhere. I see like how can I say it? I'm not satisfied with everything I have, so maybe that's what pushes this kind of fire of wanting stuff to happen. And yeah, like for me, like everything can be improved in a way. And this is why like I see opportunities everywhere. And but the market decides like every time if there is like something interesting or not. Right now my challenges and problems are um, like having this a space in Paris for people who are obsessed with tech. This is why like Anomalie Space started, and this is what we're gonna make next. I saw a problem also in builders who are, or like tech makers. People are obsessed with tech, like in all Europe. They aren't connected to each other that much. So there is something missing around that. There is already some initiatives, but they aren't enough. We need something more deep than that. What else? Storytelling problem. Like there is still need for media, for something around this. Uh, Content. There is so many content to make, especially like today with AI. Like there is an infinite possibilities, and you can make something that was impossible to do like just years ago. Some creative agencies around that, and for me, like everything can be improved with what happened recently, and yeah, like this is some of them, but there is again like so many like. Uh, yeah, for me, like there is so many. There is so many things that can be made, and again, like it's just a question of okay, I came across a problem, like okay, what can be made to solve it, and this is how it goes.
It's great that you mentioned Anomalie Space, and we will definitely talk about it more later in the conversation because I think it's super cool what you're building. But yeah, I actually agree on that point. That's like we don't have like a communities. And there are some initiatives, but somehow we need to sort of like come together as like different locations trying different the way I like to look at it, at the whole premise, I because I've spoke to a lot of builders in here in Estonia, and the whole premise is that this one guy was telling me he was like, I'm a nerd, and I like to wake up in weekends when I don't work, and I like to build things. I like to improvise and solve problems. Now, today's AI tools give me all the possibilities to build those things, but my problem is that I do not get to meet other nerds that share the same vision, and maybe we can improve something. So that's already like a local level that is like, okay, we can come together somehow as nerds, as builders and creators, and do something together. But how about different countries? Why don't we connect those things to each other? And that's something that is like super interesting. And that actually brings me to my next question because I know that you have organized some hackathons, startup weekends, and events that bring people together. So, what was your like primary motivation for that? Like, why did you, because I know how much time it takes to put together a hackathon and how much energy it takes. So you really need to be motivated to do it. So what was it in your case?
Uh, uh, I think the question of, or maybe the obsession of, it should exist. That's all. Like if you feel like if you don't make it, nobody gonna make it, and you want to see it happen. That's all. And if I want it so badly to happen, I will make it myself. And that's the thing. Like again, it's everything comes back to that time when I was making modes for games because I want them to exist and nobody made them for me. And I think it's the same for events. Like I just feel like some events should be done, and if somebody is making them, I'm like, okay, I'm already We call it flemmard in French, which means like lazy in a way. So I don't like if you are doing it, works for me. But if you are doing it and it's not exactly what I have in my mind, I will do it myself. And that's the thing. Like for example, when I started that time teen startup day, which was like startup weekend but for kids, and only one day, I there were some other initiatives. Like there were startup for kids. I spoke to the lady who were behind this event. There were so many others, but none of them was exactly what I had in my mind. So I was like, okay, they are doing it, but not like what not. It's like okay, they are. How can I say it? It's like you know that you can cook something, and people are already cooking, but you're like, it's not exactly what I imagine. So you want it to exist. And again, if they aren't doing it, I will do it. And that's for me, maybe this is from where the energy comes. And then, of course, out of all ideas or whatever, like events are cool. Like there is the social part, you meet people, you share moments with people. And for me, like this is what matters the most as a human being. And yeah, this is where you can get the energy.
Yeah, I relate to that actually 100% because like the as I said, right, it takes like so much energy to put together like such a complex event as hackathon, but just going around and seeing these passionate people just building things and connecting to each other, it's like it was all worth it.
Yeah, and you have like this kind of satisfaction of, oh, I made something and it's real also. Maybe this is something that you don't see in some other companies because, I don't know, for example, imagine you are Stripe. Like the moment people are feeling something, oh, my business worked, you aren't there with people. Like they feel it asynchron. So you have this kind of problem of how can I say it? Like, yeah, you are giving value to people, but it's like how can I, in backstage, and you don't share that moments with people. And I feel like on events you can feel that instantly, like you can see it. Or maybe I don't know, people who have escape game rooms or something like this, they see it also because like they are happy. Or bars. This is what so many people are doing, restaurants and bars, maybe because also other than the fact that it's a good business, it's also because you see people like happy and when they eat something and they're like, oh, that's cool, it was so delicious, you're like, oh, okay, we made something real. And I feel like I don't know, as human being we need that kind of satisfaction. It's made us have more self-esteem in a way, and also like it's cool, it's something that is really cool for for the mind, and we want to be approved by the others. And because it's again, it comes back to some survival kind of things we still have in our mind from our ancestors. And I feel like, yeah, we need that. So if you can get immediate validation, for me, it matters. And this is what events are offering. And this is what it's cool again.
Exactly, it is cool. And speaking of cool projects, I know that you were also running a media project about entrepreneurship and startups, just like just like this one. So, considering that the media business is like, I mean, it's generally hard to run. What made you choose that path in a particular period of your career?
I will come back to the same answer. I think I will say this like for the whole podcast is like there were stuff existing, nothing like what I had in my mind, and I was like, okay, I need this to happen. And also, I uh, I love making having cool experiences in a way, and also sharing stuff, talking to people, making good content, because there is some art part in it, also some performance part in it. I think if it wasn't this, and I would take a career in like if I think in like in another word I would be like a comedian or like a star or stand-up person like this. So because like it's cool, and you have this kind of I'm so jealous like of people who are doing this, and or music or whatever, like because they have this kind of performance when you go on stage and then you have people like saying, yeah, oh, that's cool, and you feel that moment with people, like it's something so special to live. And and yeah, for me, like this matters. And for me, content allowed me to do that in a way. But it's not only like, because also one of my dream jobs when I was little was to be a radio host. I love that, like having the mic and being like, yeah, welcome to this radio. We're making some music, and I've made one when I was in middle school, and it was like the so we know on a tool called Radionomy at time. I don't know if some people remember that or not. It's like for the old school people, and it was like the ancestor of Facebook Live or something like this. So it's allowed all like only to do how can 24/7 audio streams online. So it was before Twitch, before everything. Like it was only audio at time. Uh,
Like Clubhouse, but
it was it's different. It's like Twitch in a way because like and there wasn't this question of stream. It was more like an audio. How can I say it? Like yeah, an audio stream that is like open 24/7, and you can just click on the link and you have a player. When you click on the player, you have like your like people can listen to what's happening, and then you like you put stuff in the stream, and you can add, for example, like music. You can add whatever you want. It's like YouTube Live today in a way, but YouTube Live, like for me, the concept changed because at time it was more like what people meant with the stream. It was more like, okay, you have like a streaming of data in a way for a long time, and there is like no limits. Right now, when you talk about stream, it's basically like 1 hour, 2 hours of stream, and that's all. Like it's limited. At time, it wasn't limited. Like it was like, okay, when I launch the stream, it means like I will like have a stream 24/7, and like radios like today, and so it allowed me to have my own radio at time. So I was making like some shows and trying to have some guests and all of that. It was so shit, and I had like only my friends listening because no marketing at time, and yeah, but it was so fun to do, and I think I kept that in my mind, and I wanted always to go back to radio at the moment. So I was like, okay, how we can go back to this, and then yeah, everything started like this, and this worked at the moment, and I just made that dream, but updated to the world in 2020, 21, and yeah, and I wanted to talk about one thing that I love the most. For me, it was tech and startups at time, and and entrepreneurship also, and yeah, so I started by exploring that topic, making content on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and many other platforms. Yeah, many other, and yeah, and then I ended up having some good guests, making some cool content, working with some cool sponsors, and yeah, it was a cool ride. But at the moment, it should stop because you just reach the end of a chapter, and the question will ask itself, which is like, okay, will I push even further to something else, or I just need to stop and to have some new ideas? And I decided to stop because for me it was making no sense to just push, and yeah, that was the vision in a way.
I believe that's the most important part, to look back and be like, this was a cool ride. That's how I approach all of the projects. But if we
And
go, yeah,
there is also like something maybe which is uh, sometimes it's better to die as a hero than to live longer to become a villain in a way.
yes,
And for me, like this is what I felt like. Okay, this was the right moment to stop. Otherwise, if I continue, I will just be worse and worse and worse and worse. Not because again, it's consecration, so it's me in a way. That's the problem. Like it's not a company from outside, and this is for me the thing that was kind of annoying, which is. Again, I couldn't like I preferred like to stop, and otherwise I will just be more and more and more annoying to so many people. So I was like, okay, let's be nice, and let's have some new ideas, and
yeah,
see how it goes after.
yeah, new chapter. But if we go back to your mission once again, it specifically says, helping EU builders. So my question is, what are the major differences that you personally see between building in EU versus building in the US?
I think I will have a better answer next month because I'm going like to San Francisco for the first time ever. So we see how it goes. And like right now, I'm so influenced by and biased by what I see on Twitter, what people told me, what I saw in the past, and all those experiences. But I was lacking this experience from the field, like being there and seeing how it goes. And but for me, like there is some things that of course they are so obvious for me is that there is the ship fast kind of culture that we don't have here in Europe.
Yeah.
Like we prefer take time, which is sometimes good, by the way. Like it depends on what you are doing, And again, there is no good way to do stuff, but sometimes we need to go fast and to try more and to judge less and to build more, like do more. Like we don't care about the ideas, we care about what people are making. It's and for me, like this is the thing. Like we judge too much the. I feel like we judge too much the pitch deck more than the actual company. That's the thing. Like and yeah, it's like how can I say it? If we go back to the restaurants example, I feel like in Europe, if you just have a good brand and you are coming from a business school and you've made one or two restaurants before, everyone will be like, oh, your next restaurants will be good. And I feel like the real how can I say it? What matters at the end is that people will go there and they will buy every day and they will be satisfied every day. This is what matters, like the utility, how much you are satisfying people in a way. And I feel like we care a lot less in Europe around that, and that's kind of problematic. And also we don't take risk, not at all. Like and also it's related to the optimism. We aren't that optimist in a way. To make it simple, like we see problems more than solutions. Like we every time you're gonna talk to some European founder or like someone from the ecosystem, the the majority will react. If you say something like crazy, they'll be like, I want to make this, which is like completely crazy, it's mad, it makes no sense. The immediate reaction will be like, this won't work because like it's
Or the
like
negative.
highlighting problems and
Yeah.
being negative.
Yeah.
And for me, we should change that mindset and be like, oh, maybe there is 1% of chance that it will work and it's cool. And that's all what matters at the end. Like if you can make it and be the one out of the 1 million, it's good. And yeah, we know that there is a 1,000 billion probability that it won't work, and it's okay. And that's the thing. Like again, we are so pessimistic in a way, so we stop so many initiatives and we kill the ambition from inside. And again, this is why if we come back to what I said in the beginning, why dreaming matters, because dreaming, it means like you're gonna think big and dream of some big things, and it's not the case. Like again, in here, like we want to make something perfect day one, which makes no sense. Again, like sometimes we just need to try and to do some stupid stuff and be skin in the game and just yeah, maybe it won't work, but it's okay. Like if it doesn't work, because the next iteration will be better, and we should iterate and iterate and iterate and iterate. And for me, like this is what, yeah, what the ecosystem should be about, and it's not that much the case right now in a way. So we don't value iterations that much. We still have this problem of if we fail, we are bad or whatever, and it's for me, if we fail, it's just like, yeah, we failed the chapter, but you're gonna open another one, and it can be a success. So that's the thing. Like you should just try and try and try and try again and again until it works, and that's
Yeah.
what matters.
It's all about like failing fast,
Yeah,
validate, which is actually, great continuation of our story because you are with your community, you're on the verge of changing that, at least to attempt. So, tell us about Anomaly Space, what you guys are all about, how did it come to be, and what's your overall mission?
yeah. So it started because I will come back to what I said in the beginning, is that I wanted it to exist. Nobody made it. And there was so many initiatives, but no, none of them was exactly like what I had in my mind. And and yeah, I wasn't satisfied. So I was like, okay, if nobody's making it, let's do it. And it started because I was like, I lived in Paris for a long, long time, and yeah, there were no home, like second home, not home, like a space where you go and you are so happy to go there, like something strong. And um, and I know myself, and I know what matters for me. I know that technology is a big part of my life, and I love tech in a way. This is why I spend so much time on Twitter more than any other social network or social media. And yeah, there were like so many spaces for startups, accelerators, so many spaces like for entrepreneurship, so many schools. Like they're specific, and each one of them has one incentive in mind. And then you go there, you are happy, but at the same time you're like, oh, this is not home. Like in a way, something is missing. So it's like, okay, if there is nothing, and especially that I I had so much friends thanks to what I've been doing before with the media, and we couldn't find the space to meet in a way. So I was like, okay, if there is no space, we should create something. Let's do it. And especially that I was meeting other builders from all Europe. At the same time, I was like, okay, maybe there is the need in a way to make something where we can bring together so many people that share this love for building, for making, for tech in Europe, especially also that like last year I've done build space online and I love the experience. And I was like, okay, we need something like this in Europe in a way. So it's like, okay, let's do it. And yeah, it started by being, at the beginning, we had no space, we had no money. We still have no money and no space also soon. So yeah, the thing is, this is how it started. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So we started by a manifesto page, and in within weeks, we ended up gathering more than 200 applications, I think. It's in 4 weeks, which was cool from all around Europe. And good applications, like not bad. That's the cool part for me. And then what happened is that we're looking for spaces. We've got so many rejections, so many no's, until I came across Morning, which is like WeWork in Paris, and the CEO said yes for 3 months. So I was like, okay, it's cool, let's do it. And then yeah, we started here in June. I'm in Morning like right now. So like we can show you the space. Yeah. So like the CEO said yes. So I was like, okay, it's cool, and let's do it, and let's see and yeah, let's see how it goes after. And then the challenge was to make to find a business model to make the space as sustainable as possible. And the first iteration was this 3 months cohorts program. We wanted to try that because we believed at time that this was the right way to select people and to give them like this kind of Squid Game experience where you go in, like, yes, we selected like 100 people out of the 200. And then out of the 100, there is only some people who will stay until the end with only one rule, which is like ship show support every week. So you have this kind of culture. The thing is, when we started that, it was cool in the beginning, like the first 2 weeks. And then what happened is we had this new narrative of YC of Europe. For one reason is because we had the ambition of making something big. And also we followed what, when we were asking people like, okay, how we can make money, the only thing that people told us is, yeah, take equity in companies, take equity in companies, take equity in companies, and you will make money. And then we were like, why not? How you take equity in companies? You are a fund and you are an accelerator for startups. That's why for founders will give you equity. They won't give you equity to have desks or whatever. Like that's stupid in a way. Like you are giving static value in exchange of a dynamic value, which makes no sense even from an economic perspective. So yeah, for me, like acceleration, it works because like you are giving something, like you're gonna join them as a partner in a way, and you're gonna help them, and your help is variable like each week. So it's logic like to have equity in a way, because you're gonna unlock like the growth in a way. And so we started working on this. We spent weeks on this. We talked with so many VCs, and I ended up understanding that this wasn't the right way to do stuff. I was so sad at the end. I think I published the sad video at the moment, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. This is exactly what I hate. And yeah, because we were optimizing for something that I don't care about at all, which is again like startups and VCs and all of that world. Like it's cool that it exists, but for me it doesn't matter. And also we've made something where it was like you can join part-time, full-time. It's a program. It's more about growth. Like it's about progression, and also it was how can I say it? In a way, it was this half program acceleration, half program, like half meeting people a space and half community in a way. So the mix was kind of weird because if each person had his own like incentives and what expectations also. And we've seen that, like some people were expecting this to be like this intense program and it will push them to make something big. Some people just expected like they will have a community and they will meet cool people and that's all. And we've had like those two problems. And yeah, so we stopped everything, not everything, but like I went a little bit, outside of this bubble, and I was like, okay, let's reflect and let's see what works and what doesn't. And right now we are like, while we are recording, I think we are at the end of August, and we are closing the chapter 1 because we're gonna leave this space, and we're gonna, yeah, recreate the experience from the beginning. And we want to make something that is different and better. Like, we want to double down to what worked the best, and also to stay more loyal to our beliefs than what the market wants, in a way, because we want to make something that will be stay for decades. That's the goal. And when we reflected, and even I asked people like what they want, and yeah, for me, like, what is needed is a space for people who are obsessed with tech, and that's all. Like, just offline, something that is cool, where when you go inside, you feel like you are in San Francisco, but you are still in Paris. This is the magic of it, and I think we can make that possible. So that's the vibe. That's what we want, and yeah, that's the dream, and that's what we will fight for the chapter 2. I don't know if it will work or not. I don't know where this episode will be out. Maybe by then we will succeed, maybe not. But that's our actual challenge, and that's what we are trying to make with Anomalie Space. So again, like, this space for people who are obsessed with tech, for nerds, for geeks, for people who want like to learn more, to explore. And I think we can make that. Like, we are the best to make that. So we just need to cover the costs, find a way to find a business model out of the equity acceleration thing, because again, it will just push us to do something that is so far of what we want initially, and and at the end you will always have these conflicts of interests, because like, if you create an accelerator, you will end up selecting only the people who will create the best companies. Like, you optimize for one thing, that's it.
Yeah.
And your biggest metric will be, am I good enough to have those people? And am I pushing them to make those kind of companies? And there's already like 1,000 accelerator like in Europe, and they are doing great work, and it's okay. Europe doesn't need that anymore. Like, it's already served. It's good. We don't need that. What we need is space for people where you can meet people, where you can like have events, where you can like, when you can work, when you can have fun. And this is for me maybe the dream. Like, again, having San Francisco and Paris for me will be the biggest dream. And this is what we're going to push for in chapter 2. We're going to see how it works. So no more program, no more online, no more cohorts, something different. And yeah, we're gonna see how it goes in the next weeks.
Awesome. I can't wait to come to Paris and hang out in your builder space.
We will see. It's not ready yet. For now, we have nothing.
Sure. I'm
We
sure
will
not.
see.
I'm sure it's going to be really soon because when you I don't know, I feel like there's something very magical about like dreaming and being obsessed with the problem that you want to solve. And then I believe there's always a way to achieve that. So Um, I don't know exactly when, how it's gonna happen, but I'm sure we're gonna hang out in your Paris builder space. But just to understand like the concept, you already spoke like very well about it. But what are the biggest challenges that EU builders face at the moment that you hope to solve with the Anomaly space?
Um, so if um, for me, like, the space should be all about culture. Like, we spoke about this for a long time, and I think this is what matters at the end. We spoke about the ambition, about the ship fast, and all of that. And this is elements of culture. Like, it's not again, it's not an accelerator that will solve that. Like, for me, it's something more deep, and also the love of technology. And I feel like we can solve that. And this is where Anomaly Space can be useful in a way. Is that okay? We're gonna push people to do the right things in a way by just installing the right elements and making them meet with each other. Maybe this lack of serendipity in a way also, like just creating this space and then people gonna meet people, because some people will come from this and that, and we've seen that. Like, we've done the first iteration and it worked. Like, we've seen people coming in Paris from Poland, from Bulgaria, from Italy, from where else, from Berlin, and so many other, Sweden, and they Finland, and they talk to each other. Like, something happened, and I feel like, and we didn't force that. Just because like they are already obsessed with the same things, they talk to each other
Yeah.
automatically. And I feel like we can succeed in that, and Paris can be the best place for that because it's connected to every other city in a way. In
Yeah.
simple way, it's not that far from all the cities, so it can be center in a way, or maybe it can be Brussels. Who knows? We may move there after. But for now, like I feel like Paris is a good space for that, and especially that the ecosystem also is open. So I'm like, okay, let's do it here and let's see how it goes after. And yeah, I hope that we can make it happen. And for me, like, this is what we can solve. Again, we don't want to solve the growth problem or the legal administration problem. This is what they're doing with EU Inc. And I'm so like happy for that it exists in a way. And for me, we can't solve all world's problem, but if we can solve one, it will be just okay having this space where you can meet other people. And I think we can be good, really good at that. And this is where, yeah, I feel like if we just solve the business model without equity problem, I feel like yeah, we can make something interesting out of it. And we already have some ideas of how we can make money. The only thing is that we need our own space, and this is why chapter 2 will be completely different, because we will have our own space. And then yeah, we will see how it goes after. So how we can play with the costs and find a way to make it sustainable. And again, what I wanted to be is something like, if I can resume, like if I can summarize like Anomalie Space in one line, for me it will be like a church for people who are obsessed with tech. That's it. Yeah, and by the way, churches stay for a long time. And this is the dream. Like, you come back here in Paris in maybe, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years, and there is still a church here. The space is still here. And for me, this is what matters. Like, in a world where there is so much movement and stuff, it stays. And yeah, for me, it matters. And again, if the US made San Francisco City, we can make a space in Paris the same. Not all Paris, just a space. That's the dream.
Yeah. The core goal is to have like all the techies coming together, the builders, the dreamers, the innovators, and commercialization parts would be left for some other people or later stages, I guess.
I don't know, but again, for me, just like, how can I say it? We shouldn't go into that road of.
Yeah.
So I listened to what people told me, and I kept, how can I say it? Like, I got those signals of okay, equity is a good model. Let's do equity in companies because you have some good founders, so let's do it. And again, like it pushed us to do something that we don't care about. And again, like, it's something that will, how can I say it? It's another business. It's like you go and I will talk again about restaurants and be like, you should have a good chocolate and make good chocolate. But nobody cares. Like, I'm making burgers. Like, who cares about that? Like, it's so far. And
Yeah, it's sort of like you're becoming like somebody else, and you don't
exactly.
want. I want to wish you the best of luck with doing that. And again, once again, as I said, I'm sure I'm gonna be coming to Paris and hanging
I
out
hope.
in the builder space. Before we wrap this up, I really have to ask this. Like, I saw that you have hugged Elon Musk, or you asked him
Yeah.
to hug. Like, what happened? What's the story?
So it was 3 years ago, and it was at Vivatech. So this like a big event for technology in Paris, and they brought Elon Musk in person, and so it was like in this big room with I think 8,000 people or something like this. And the thing is, like, it was full, and there was so many people, and at time I still had my media, and I was like, okay, what type of content I can make which will work. So I made some viral contents before, and when you think of a content perspective, you start having this kind of crazy ideas of let's do something that feels weird for so many people, but it can work. And then I've seen, I think this guy called Phidias or something like this. who is right now in the European Commission, and he's also a content
Oh,
creator.
I know. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he asked him for a hug, I think, before, and he showed up to Tesla office, I think, every day until he got his hug or something like this. And so I was like, okay, maybe it can be something interesting, and if I can have the picture, it can be so like special. So what happened is that so the conference started. People were so, how can I say it, so calm and so well behaved, and I was like, no, like by the time he went in, and I think there is still the replay maybe, and like, you know, where there is the entrance and everyone is applauding like at this time and it's perfect and everything, and then what happens is there is a silence.
Hmm.
And at this time, I shouted, "We love you, Elon!" And then everyone applauded again. And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy. Okay, the room is good. They're just missing someone to make like more vibes." And then yeah. So what happened is I think it pushed me like with this first confidence in a way with this kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, what crazy content I can make? And in my mind, I was like, okay, what I can do, what I can do, what I can do. And I feel like a question, it would be so boring. Like this is the thing with content, like you need to make stuff that aren't boring at all. And I was like, okay, what's the thing that can be crazy, not boring, that I can do at that moment? And I was like, okay, let's ask him for a hug and let's see. So what happened is that at the moment they were talking, and then I stood up and I was like, "Hey, Elon, give me a hug, please." And then all the medias, like at the beginning, they were all recording Elon, and then at the moment they all started recording me, and I was like, "Shit, fuck."
Did he say
so,
something?
so I just asked it again, and then like nothing happened.
Mhm.
And I started asking, and then I went so close to him because at the end, like everyone went there, and then yeah, like I was 1 meter far from me at the moment, but that's it. And yeah, I didn't had the hug, but it's okay. Like sometimes you know you need some failures
Yes.
to yeah to have a good story, and maybe one day I will meet him again, and I will have my hug, and I will be like,
Yeah.
okay, this is where it started, this is where it's going right
Yeah.
now. For now, it's not the case. I'm still I didn't had any chance to meet him again since that day, and but maybe it will happen. Who knows? That's the life magic.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, finally, to wrap up this episode, I think it was a very interesting story. Just want to hear from you as somebody that has, you've been a builder yourself, you've moved to Europe in Paris, and now you're trying to sort of like, give back to community by building a space, core space for builders, where they can come and be nerds together. So, considering all that, what would be your advice to everyone who want to become builder in the EU?
Ah, I feel like it's question of I think it's a question of culture, and it's how you react to problems. Like for me, there is three ways. Either you're gonna solve it yourself, either you're gonna ask someone to solve it for you, either you're gonna just uh, be like what we call in French râler, which means just how can I say it? Expose the problem, be like, ah, this is bad, this is bad. Like, yeah, for me, like this is the thing. Like, for example, if we, I don't know, imagine like you live in a village, and then you have like this kind of road that isn't like there is a hole in the
Yeah.
road, and again. This is only options you have. Like either you fix it yourself, either you ask someone to fix it, or either you pay someone to fix it for you, or either you're gonna just be like every day you're gonna pass by there and be like, ah, this is there is a hole, oh there is a hole, oh there is a hole, oh the government didn't want to solve the hole, and this is how you can react to those problems. And I feel like the problem in France in general is that the majority of people are in this option, like they râle lots, and we don't solve problems. Like we don't act, we just react, and we're like, oh, this is bad, this is bad. Yeah, we know it's bad, but what can we do? And either you do it yourself, either you ask someone to do it. Like you ask, like you push someone to do it, not ask. Because ask, you can ask the government, they don't care. That's the thing. So this is where, for me, again, it started when I was small. and little child, and I feel like kept that mindset. And yeah, for me, like if you want to build something, just how can I say it? Find problems, and there is 1,000 problems, and find those you care a lot about, and learn to act quickly. Like, and how to learn for me, just repetition and consistency. Like you find a problem, you solve it, and week two you find another problem, you solve it, and by in 1 year you're gonna be perfect. Like you're gonna start having these habits of solving problems, and this is how it goes. Like it's not late. You can be 45 years old and still change. So it's just a question of habits, and for me it's possible. Like again, maybe it's something I had the chance of having this problem when I was again a child, so I had this mindset. But if it's not the case, because society is like this here, for me, just start solving problems as soon as possible, and taking some responsibility also of okay, this is not the government's fault, it's me, and I should solve it myself. And yeah, or maybe like learn also to ask people like to do that. I'm so bad at that. So some people are so good, like they know how to ask people to solve problems for them, and that's also another mindset, and it works. So or there is no good way for me. Just if you can erase one problem out of the list, it's cool, and that's all what matters.
Great. Thank you once again very
Thank you.
much. I think it was very interesting to
Yeah.
have you on the show. I want to once again wish you the best of luck with Anomalie Space. I'll be following for more updates.
Yes.
Curious how it's all going to develop. Also, best of luck on your upcoming trip to the US.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
keep you in touch on and give you an update also on how is this space there, like how people are, how is the energy, the vibe.
Yeah,
I've been told
maybe,
like great things, but I would love
maybe,
to see
yeah,
it myself.
maybe we need a sequel episode just for that
Why
US.
not? I'm in. Why not? Let's
Yeah.
meet in October.
So, thank you very much for listening. See you next time.
Yes. See you.